Hi everybody, Mark here at Friendship Shaving. Welcome to the den. It's good to see you once again. I had my shave all sorted out and ready to go today. But this morning I received a package in the post from John Chalmers. I'd loaned John some razors to use on his channel, John Shaves 101. And please do check him out. I'll put the link down below. As well as returning my razors, he sent me some samples, so I'm going to start today's shave with those samples. They came in these little plastic tubs and they are a fantastic size. So John, if you're watching this, I'd love to know where you got these from. They really are a great size. So the first one I've got is a Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Rabid Banana, and it really does smell very banana-y. The next one I got was PAA's Diver Down, and this is a CH6 formula, and that smells very nice indeed. And I got a little sample of the aftershave too, so really chuffed with that. I've got an A&E Peaches and Cognac, and this is their Kaizen base, so I'll be very interested to try that. And a sample of A&E SoCal Hipster, again in the Kaizen base, so I'll be able to compare that to the SoCal Hipster that I have got. I've got a little sample. But the sample I'm going to use today is PAA's Awesome Sauce. It is a CH6 sample. As soon as I saw this, that was the shave for today sorted. So thank you very much, John, for sending these. And got my brush already loaded. Just a little shout out to Alan today, who asked if I would use the body brush. It is a body handle with a Sinbad knot. So we'll get that going in a moment. I'm going to be talking primarily today about the Henson Razor, and I have mine here with a dirty mark on the top. We'll wipe that away. And I'm going to be putting in a Shark Platinum blade today. I have tried this with an Astra. I've had a couple of shows with that, and I thought I would change that over today and pop in the Shark Super Platinum that I really enjoyed the last time I used it. So there we are. We're going to be talking about the Henson Razor. Now let me damp my face. And we'll start putting on some awesome sauce. Strangely enough, I'm reading a book. One of the characters is a young boy that describes everything that's really brilliant as awesome sauce. It seemed quite appropriate. Now the scent on this soap is lovely. When you smell it in a little pot, you can smell it is just like the Proraso Green Aftershave Splash, but rather than being all up front and in your face, it is really quite mildly scented, quite subtle, quite a deep scent to it. As soon as you start to lather it and get it on the brush, it becomes up front and in your face, just the same as the Proraso Green. Douglas and Fran have absolutely nailed this. It of course is mentholated. I'm putting it on now. It is just like the green splash from Proraso. Really, really good. I found this CK6 formula to be a really soft base. Did I say CH6 before? I may have done. If I did, please excuse me. I know it's called CK6. I think we'll go with this. Really very nice. Now, let's get to the Henson Razor, shall we? If you don't know, it is made and packaged in Canada. It is, I have to say, a lovely looking razor, and it is made in an aerospace manufacturing facility, so you would expect it to be really good quality, and indeed it is. It's a very nice quality razor. The tolerances they've got them down to an incredible level. They're down to 5/10,000ths of an inch. Now I can't even imagine that, and I don't know what it is in millimeters. It comes in two versions, a mild version and a medium version, and I'd like to thank Tommy for pointing out the difference to me. Tommy said that the medium version has L3001M printed on the guard plate and inside the head cap. Now I've looked at it today. Through a magnifying glass with my glasses on, because I entirely missed it before. It is written in a very small writing, and I actually think it's a colon. But the milder version is L:001W, and Tommy surmises that might be a woman's razor and a man's razor, essentially. I think as it was made in a facility that produces parts for the International Space Station and for the Mars rover, I think we could have had some space insignia on this somewhere. The handle is, there we are, you can see that the handle is engraved in a pattern, and it has HS up at the top there. And while the engraving on the handle is not deep, it's enough to stop your finger sliding around. and it is designed so that you can put it down like that if you're in the shower or something. On their website, I'll talk about all the stuff and the information that's on their website during this first pass, and then in my second and third pass I'll talk about how I find the razor. So on their website it recommends that the mild razor, the 001W, is recommended if you have sensitive skin, or if you shave every day or every 2 days at the most. It is a razor for you if you prefer a forgiving shave rather than an efficient shave, and it's also a razor to use if you're going to shave somewhere else on your body. The medium, this one, is if you prefer a razor that's not so sensitive. If you shave every 3 or 4 days, or if you have a full beard that needs shaving, and if you only shave your face with the razor. So that's what I recommend between the mild razor and the medium razor. They have engineered this very well, and it has got an angled head, as you can see, that creates that perfect 30-degree angle of the handle there, and the head and the blade. So in terms of a shave, it is very easy and maybe you can hear the hair coming off there. But it is very easy to put the razor on your face, get a perfect angle and go straight into the shave. I don't mind that at all. It seems from their website that they are certainly aiming for part of their market to bring people over from cartridge razors to a double-edged safety razor. And I think with that in mind, this design is very well served. It's lightweight because it's aluminium, so in that respect it won't be dissimilar from the weight of a cartridge razor. It is manoeuvrable. That lightweight gives it a certain amount of manoeuvrability. The handle's okay, you know, it's a nice razor. It's certainly very, very well made. You can see perhaps the channels there are well made, lots of spaces for rinsing the razor. The holes on the base of the guard plate are designed so there's extra flow through. All in all, it's very well made, and that flat base, that flat guard plate, clamps along the length of the blade, and it is the head cap that turns the edges of the blade over into the right angle. So that blade is very well supported along the whole length of the razor blade. Now, that's enough about the razor itself. I'm finding it slightly curious to shave with. over the last two shaves, I've found that this has given me a good shave, but it's not giving me a BBS shave. And on the one hand, I find this medium razor to be somewhat mild in its design, but also there is a slightly positive aspect to the razor blade. So even with the razor held flat on my cheek, that razor blade has a slightly positive aspect. Now, going with the grain now in the way that I normally do when I shave, I quite often do two passes with the grain, one across the grain on my face both ways and then against the grain on my neck. But I'm finding now that although I can hear the blade, I can't really feel it. It is a little bit different on the first pass, but it feels a mild razor to use. Now I know some of you are using this and you absolutely love it, and I know others are using this and find that it gives you razor burn. And on my second shave, I found it gave me a little bit of razor burn. So I'm concentrating today on using it properly, keeping on that 30-degree angle and having a light touch. Especially on my neck. Now, it wasn't bad razor burn at all for me, but I know Tommy, that I mentioned earlier, had a really bad razor burn. So, you know, it's something to bear in mind if you are especially prone to that. The shave, in a way, reminds me a little, not in the razor, but in the feel of the shave after you finish shaving. It reminds me of a Gillette Slim on a mild setting, in that you've got the razor on a mild setting, but there is still that positive aspect to the blade. So if you have a Gillette Slim, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about when I say that. I'm finding that around my chin is the area, and you can hear the hair that I'm still taking off there. This is the area that I'm not getting entirely clean in my shave. So hence I've been going over that there just a few times. I feel that this razor, because of the head shape, doesn't give you so much choice yourself to right the cap or change the angle of the shave. It is pretty much set at that optimum angle. I don't mind that. I quite like that. but maybe I would have preferred a neutral aspect on the blade and a little bit bigger blade gap. I don't know. I'll put a link to all their technical information. They really have put a lot of technical information on their website. I think it was maybe written by an engineer. It is quite in depth. It mentions all the usual stuff about blade gaps and blade exposure and guard span. Now that's not a phrase I use very often at all, so I had to remind myself what that was by reading the information. What surprised me was that they talk about the blade exposure of this razor falling within a certain range, and that is 0.041 millimeters to 0.061 millimeters. Now, I've never read of a razor that has a blade gap that falls into a range, and they say that in their testing, the razor blades they used had slightly different widths. Now, I imagine that we are talking, minute amounts of the range of razor blades. In the middle, they thought the Astra performed best. Now, as I said, I've tried it with the Astra Green, the Platinum. We'll see how we go today with this Shark Platinum instead. Now I can feel there's still hair there. And this is the danger. I feel it is a mild razor. I wouldn't like to use the mild version. This is a medium version. I wouldn't like to use the mild one myself. I'm finding, as with all mild razors, that I could just go over the same spot again and again, and that of course is going to give you razor burn, no question about it. So I have to be careful not to do that. And just see what kind of a shave we get, but I feel here. In fact, let's just do twice. There, there, there. And, no. This side is much better. I need to go over it more. And therein lies the danger. You can see I could just go over and over and over. For me, I think this is of the mildness perhaps of a vintage fat handle tech. And like the fat handle tech, I get a very nice shave, but I don't get a BBS shave, and that is my experience with the Henson Razor. I wish it was just a little more effective. Because even now, up there, I've got hair on my chin, on my lip there, here, I mean, I very rarely get rid of that anyway, but yeah, you can begin to see that although it is a mild razor in terms of performance, you've got to be careful with that positive exposure not to keep going over the same area. And I think if they are aiming to bring in people that are already using a cartridge razor, I think if you're used to using a cartridge razor, particularly if it's got 5-6 blades, something like that, that will give you a closer shave than this razor. So now, got to say that when I walk away from here, in an hour's time, when my skin has all calmed down, my hairs have relaxed again, and they're not all stood up ready to be shaved, it's a very, very nice shave. It's just not BBS. So I think if you have really sensitive skin and really coarse hair, this is not a razor for you. And I think if you're obsessed with getting BBS, this might not be a razor for you either. But generally, if you've got sensitive skin, you might enjoy this. I've certainly enjoyed shaving with it. As I say, in an hour's time, when everything's calmed down, you know, and I can feel with the grain, it feels beautiful. It feels beautiful with the grain. It's just, we get a little obsessed sometimes, don't we? We're going, oh, there's a bit of hair there, there's a bit of hair there. So a good shave, but not a BBS shave. Now I'm going to use my Parasso green to match my awesome sauce. Oh, fantastic. Now that is some awesome sauce. Where did that saying come from? Oh, it's lovely, lovely. So there we are. John, thank you very much for sending me this sample. I'm chuffed to bits that I've got to use that. It's another excellent soap from Doug and Fran over at PAA. That is my shave for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. You look after yourselves. Please subscribe. Thumbs up. I'll see you next time around. Bye bye now.